got involved in the King James Bible translating process and messed it all up and put in their own version of things in there. And I said, I don't believe that. And I said, you have no evidence. You don't know that. I said, you don't know that. I said, here we have 54 men working in a circular fashion, everyone under peer review of their work, so that not one single agenda is embedded into that Bible, and you, with no evidence whatsoever, are trying to tell me that Satan was sitting in on the committee, and he helped translate, and he translated it incorrectly. That's what you're trying to tell me. And then he kept going back to this one verse. He had an agenda on his mind that he was not going to let go of. And he kept over-talking me, and I kept over-talking him, and I kept telling him, look, you're going to try to tell me that there's a mistake in the translation of this Bible, and I'm not listening to you. I'm telling you, I'm not listening to you, and you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time trying to tell me there's mistakes in my Bible. And I just, you know, I like being nice to people. I don't like being confrontational, but every now and then it's good to get into a good fight. David said, Lord, teach my fingers to know warfare. Teach my hands to fight. And every now and then, it takes you standing up. I wasn't going to let this guy and say, well, you know, maybe that's your belief, but I just believe so. That I'm not going to take a Mickey Mouse little sissy girl position. Sorry for any of you that are sissy girls. That works for you if you are, in fact, a girl. But I'm not going to take that stand. You're talking trash about my very best friend in the whole world is what you're doing. Okay? And to me, that's worse than talking about my mom. Don't talk about my mom. Whatever you do, don't talk about my mom. Okay? Unless you're going to talk nice about her. But I will not stand for anybody talking trash about my very best friend in the whole world, the one who is stick closer to me than a brother, and that is Jesus Christ and His Word. I won't handle it. And so, did biologists lie about evolution? The answer is yes. And all you got to do is believe the Bible. Let's see here. There's something else. Here we go. This goes down in the category of this is really stupid. California, it's got to come from California. Court to decide if SeaWorld whales are illegal slaves. For those of you who live outside of the juxtapositional United States, the 48 contiguous states, for those of you who live outside, SeaWorld is a company. They have these little juxtapositional. Okay, look it up. For those of you who live outside the United States, SeaWorld is a company that has these little aquariums that you can visit, and they have whales and dolphins. They put on shows, is what they do. And they put on all these shows, and everybody goes to see the whales jump through hoops and so on and so on and so on. And I've been to one of those shows. They're pretty neat. Until one of the whale keepers gets eaten by an orca, then that's not too good. But anyway, a California federal court is to decide for the first time in U.S. history whether amusement park animals are protected by the same constitutional rights as humans. You know, I have to admit, I rewatched Star Trek IV the other day. I know. And it was, I remember going to see this when I was in college when it first came out. It was about this alien probe that was going to destroy planet Earth in the 23rd century because it was looking for the whales. And it was sending out these little messages to the whales, and the whales were not responding back, so it was going to destroy the planet. And the Enterprise had to go back in time to 1987, which is 1986 when the movie came out, and get some humpback whales and take them back into the future so that they could save planet Earth. And they were and I'm going, it's a Save the Whales advertisement's what it is. And so anyway, the issue arises from a lawsuit filed by rights group People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. pita. In a San Diego, by the way, I like to eat animals in a piece of pita bread. That's really, really good. I am a huge animal lover. Okay? Whether it's cow, chicken, pork, deer, fried rabbit, squirrel. I love animals. Okay? And so anyway, they filed suit in a San Diego court on behalf of 5 orcas named, I won't even read their name. Now, the question I ask is, did the whales actually ask PETA to file a suit on their behalf? Okay? That's the question I ask. Did they act, is there somebody from PETA that they have hired that can speak whale? Okay? Or do they have some, and by the way, this is California. Okay? But this is California. Okay? And so I think that there's probably somebody in California who talks to the animals. And the animals talk back. They can hear what the animals are saying to them. Okay? The whales perform water acrobatics at the SeaWorld amusement parks in San Diego and Orlando, Florida. PETA argues that continuing the whales' employment at SeaWorld violates the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which prohibits slavery. District Judge Jeffrey Miller heard arguments in the complaint Monday and reviewed the response from SeaWorld, which asked that the lawsuit be dismissed. His ruling is expected to come later. The suit, filed in October 2011, asked that the court declare that the orcas are held in slavery and or involuntary servitude by defendants in violation of the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. By the way, if you're gonna have it both ways. Okay? If you're going to say that these whales have rights, then they have responsibilities. I expect these whales to start paying taxes just like the rest of us, buddy. If they have rights, they have responsibilities. I can't believe that in Missouri that this case would even show up. I can't believe that. In California, I get it. But here in Missouri, never happens. Okay? And by the way, this lawsuit here is actually the best argument against medical marijuana. Okay? It's the best argument against the use of medical marijuana. You can tell that medical marijuana is being abused in California because of this lawsuit. Whoever's smoking this stuff decided in their enlightened mind that these whales have rights. Stupidest thing. By the way, you want Bible? I'll give you Bible. God said, behold, I've given you every herb or herb. It depends on if you're married to him or not. You every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a yielding seed, fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. That's not the verse I wanted. Verse 28, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Case closed. Man has the dominion, PETA. Get over it. Get over it. Let's see here. Is there anything else that I wanted to look at? Let's go now to Genesis chapter 6. I'm going to play the giant footprint video. And this, again, I just saw this about 15 minutes before the broadcast today. I've watched the entire video. I think it is legitimate. I can't prove it. But if you ask me, do I believe that giants lived on the earth, I will say yes. If you ask me if here we go. If you ask me if I believe in dragons and unicorns, I'll have to say, yeah. Yeah, I believe in dragons and unicorns. Okay? It sounds like that if you go in my office and you find a notebook on my desk, I'll have doodle drawings of little dragons and unicorns and mystical beasts on there. I don't. I'm just telling you, I believe in dragons and unicorns and leviathans and behemoths. I believe in those. Why? Because the Bible says so. I believe in lions. They're real. I believe in leopards. They're real. I believe in roosters. They're real. They're all mentioned in the Bible. I believe in serpents. And I believe in fiery flying serpents is what I believe in. Okay? And so anyway, I believe in giants. That does not make me crazy. That makes me a Bible believer. I don't need someone. And by the way, let me get back to something I was going to say a while ago. And I mentioned this last night in the church service with to Brady and Bradley, our crummy brothers, who I love like my own sons. I just love them to death. For them to come out of the cults that they were embedded deeply into these cults. For them to come out of it is just, don't ever think that God can't save somebody. But anyway, the core at the heart of every cult, every false movement, every disobedient and rebellious religious system is a disbelief in, number one, the literalness of the Bible, and number two, the wording and the translation of the Bible. It's a disbelief in that. When you think that, number one, you have a license, and this is what I told this guy yesterday. I said, nobody gave you a license to change one word in the Bible. Nobody did. He believes that he has a license to retranslate the Bible, and I said that falls under the category of a private interpretation, and you're not allowed to do that. And when you've got your mind made up, like this guy did yesterday, when you have your mind made up on how right you are, not even the Bible can correct you. Because he said, I am not privately interpreting the Bible. And I said, then where are you getting it from? Well, I'm getting it from the original Hebrew. I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And so when you decide, when you're determined in your mind that the Bible's wrong, then not even the Bible can convince you that you're wrong. This is how far gone people are. And I'm not saying people are